Greetings enthusiast, check out this new module and see if you might want to learn how to build it. Stay tuned. Okay, I hope you got some idea there of what this module can be used for. I'm using this for switching triggers in and out. Here's a quick look at the stripboard layout, and we'll come back to that in a minute. Now, I had to do a bit of research, of course, to see if there was any way we could latch a switch with a trigger input. And I did come across this schematic. If we look at the bottom schematic there, so for every 2 triggers we'll get 1 trigger out, and that will stay high or low. Basically it will latch that position, and then I'm taking that out to the 4066 switch. Hope you following that. So look, we've got 4 trigger inputs. There's 2 on each 4013 IC, and those 2 outputs go to the quad switch, the 4066. So there's 4 inputs on that, and there's 4 sets of 2 in-outs. Each input on the 4013, I have put a 10k pull down resistor on them, and the same goes for the 4066 switch as well. Now, this switching could be achieved with VCAs and LFOs, but that is a hell of a lot of circuitry, and I was trying to find something using these Cmos ICs and something with a minimal part count, which this is. As long as you follow those track cuts and all the links properly, yeah, this I've found to be very reliable. Just check out the voltage regulator there. I'm using a 7806. That's a 6-volt regulator. Now, I did try that with a 5-volt regulator, and it did work with my triggers that I'm using, which are mainly from an Arduino. I don't have an oscilloscope. It's amazing how far I got without using one. So I'm assuming they put out about 5-volt triggers. Now a lot of these CMOS switches and trigger inputs do have a tolerance on the voltage that they'll operate effectively, and it's usually about 2/3 of the supply voltage. So if we're using a 5-volt regulator with a 5-volt trigger, I didn't want to take any chances for effectively working. So I'm using a 7806. You can get those quite easily, I think. You can. I think you'll get away with a 705, but you will need your triggers 5 volts or lower. Now, rather uncharacteristically, I did take some notes as to how to configure the manual bypass switch. So, yeah, that's a single pole double throw switch. The input goes to the centre pole, and you've got the two in outs there on the 4066 times 4. So hopefully that makes sense, and that can manually switch in or out for each of the 4 switches. Now, I may have missed something there in my description, but it's a pretty minimal parts count build, this. I haven't seen anything like this on the market. I know you get the sequential switches, but this is something different. I do want to add that I haven't tried this with CV inputs or audio either. That's up to you if you want to experiment, but I would stay below those 5-volt ranges. Yeah, I don't know how that will work with CV or audio. I didn't want to try it in case I blew it up, and I am fed up fixing stuff. So I think that's it. If you've got any questions, please leave them in the comments, and I hope to be back with a couple of more builds soon-ish. Thanks very much for watching, and I hope to see you next time.